So
Wow,
what
it
we're
seems
seeing,
like so many of these hospitals were caught doing these surgeries, a person would call in and inquire and make it seem like, "Oh, I'm inquiring for my son or daughter," and then they would someone on the phone or receptionist, whoever worked there, be like, "Yes, we do that," and then when they tried to confirm it later on, it's like almost like these hospitals were kind of like, caught offering these surgeries, and they had to take it off their website or reword things to make it sound like that they were not offering this to minors.
well, many states have legislation that's going to really prohibit um, life-changing hormonal therapy. Before puberty, they use hormones that affect the pituitary. Later on, it's straight androgens or estrogens, and then banning really what's largely disfiguring surgery. So if you figure the human body of a boy and girl, are natural the way they are, anything that disfigures it, obviously for children is very difficult, if impossible, to reverse. Even the hormones can't be reversed. After a month, they cause irreversible changes. So, what Georgia, Texas, and a variety of states had legislation advancing to say, listen, this is going to be outlawed to protect the children. And they become adults; they can make their own decisions. But other states like Washington, Oregon, just the opposite, saying that children would have these rights, and even the parents don't even have to know about it. We know
Yeah,
that the
California.
Obama, yeah, Obama administration in 2016 actually had written in that gender affirming surgeries must be covered by CMS or commercial insurances. So this has been going on for a while now. So let's say you're an adult guy and say, well, I really want to be a girl. I want to look like a girl, but still have my sexual preferences with guys. So they literally could start having these procedures. So guys could get breast implants and get hair depolarization and have voice box surgery that makes the Adam's apple less prominent and what have you, and literally dress up and look like a girl. Now they still had the same male to male sex. I mean, that still goes on, but so it's almost like in the
It's like
adult world,
yeah,
it's like
where, the insurance is covering, like, their kink or just their when
yes, that's
meanwhile,
it.
we have so
Right.
many A-cup women out there who need these surgeries more, just to
Well, no,
compete with
you're right.
me.
So it's like Obamacare covered basically a big gay kink, and then women who want cosmetic surgery. Now, the number of women with breast implants is about 5% worldwide.
That's
Now,
it?
by the way, yeah, about 5% in the United States. Now, by the way, virtually every superwoman working out on Instagram has breast implants. I'm a doctor, so I can kind
Except
of
for me.
I can identify it. No, no, you would not be in that category,
I would say
uh,
maybe
because you're
30%
so
of my
well endowed. I just said it right now.
I
But
feel like 30 to 40% of my friends have implants, so maybe I'm skewed
well, you
in
know
on
what
the
women say,
percentages.
and you know what women say, particularly older, and I have patients and we talk. You know what women really say, especially once they've been married for forever, what have you? It's like, why would they want breast implants? Most of them say, you know what? So my clothes fit better. So I just
Mm.
clothes nowadays are not designed for flat chested women. I mean, it's just the reality. But but now the issue is there's really a dark side to this transgenderism, and my research has really uncovered this. And I've got this out there on my Substack, Courageous Discourse. What we've learned is going on about 20 years ago, the Europeans who are ahead of us in transgender medicine, they started to report, I think, a disturbing trend that more and more young people who went to transgender clinics were actually autistic people. They were on the
Right.
autistic spectrum. This is very important. When I was a kid, autism was 1 in every 10,000 people. Right now, it's 1 in every 36. Autism
Wow.
is the single biggest childhood epidemic we have. It is massive. And so all of these autistic people now are coming forward, getting to the point of puberty, having some gender dysphoria, having some ambiguity, and then they're suggestible. And someone suggests, well, maybe you should change your gender. And they head off in this direction. But this paper by Vandermeesen really caught my attention, where back then, this is a while back, 20% of the young people going forward for gender change had clinical autism. They actually had the
Wow.
diagnosis of autism. That meant the spectrum or the penumbra of cases was much bigger. Now, boy, it's broken wide open. There was a paper by Warrior and colleagues done in hundreds of thousands of transgender individuals. And you know what? their autistic scores are off the Richter scale. And now, believe it or not, the Autism Advocacy Network of adults with autism has come out strongly in support of transgender medicine.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the circle is complete now. Transgenderism is driven by autism, and the question on the table is that fair to the autistic kids? I mean, autism is a tough disease. It's not well treated with drugs, most of it cognitive behavioral therapy. Is it fair to have an autistic child undergo permanent gender change
Right,
and then
because if
be
you had a child with Down syndrome or some other kind of, like, I guess, disability, you would never let them go trans. Like, you would be like, "Hold on a second, they might not be in the right place to decide." Is that a fair comparison to make?
Well, it's true. The Georgia bill does mention that actually people with mental disabilities of all types could be preyed upon. Here's an analogy someone gave to me one time. Said if you saw a young person who had anorexia nervosa, you wouldn't go up to him and say, "Hey, you look fat." You wouldn't do that, right? So it just feeds the pathophysiology. Here, with an autistic person who has gender dysphoria, you wouldn't go up to him and say, "Hey, maybe you should change your gender," because that sets the child down a pathway. So this has gone on now. This is what we understand of the young people who have these procedures. 80% of the time, it's sterilizing. They'll never have kids again. And this decision, by the way, is made before puberty. So how can somebody at age 7 decide whether the reproductive course of their life? The other, terrible parts of this is that about a month of hormonal therapy, it's irreversible. I don't know if you've seen some of these news clips of these girls who wanted to be a guy and then they back out, but they've had a month of hormones. The voice is completely changed.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
testosterone, it permanently changes your voice, it permanently deepens it.
right. And
You
and then
It's
and
not
then
reversible.
and then, of course, the mastectomies. This is very important. The mastectomies of young women, when they're done to shape it like a male breast, there's almost no ability to go back and try to reconstruct that again.
So you couldn't, like, just, like, get rid of him and then, "Oops, just kidding, can I do implants now?" There's probably, like,
Right.
not enough material there
No,
to
not enough
build off of.
material. The nipple is gone. Things are very misshapen. And I don't know if you've seen some of these really diabolical pictures of trying to fashion an artificial penis for a woman.
It's
No,
crazy. It's like Frankenstein.
no,
It's,
whatever you do, Chrissy, don't show one of
I
these.
won't, I
And
won't, I won't.
you know, talk about getting kicked off YouTube. Don't don't
I won't,
don't
I won't.
show one of these.
People
But
have seen them, and
basically,
they can go find them if they want,
yeah,
yeah.
but to describe it, basically, it's taking a relatively large chunk out of one of the thighs or one of the forearms and making something that looks akin to like a sausage. And
It looks like one of those, remember the water weenies when we
yeah,
were
it,
kids? It's like that, but
it looks like
flesh
that. Now,
color
obviously, the
and less
urine doesn't.
fun.
Right, the urine doesn't pass through that. It's not able to achieve an erection. It's kind of impossible to know what purpose it would really serve. And and so we're left with a situation where the surgeries are very disfiguring. By the way, the voice box surgery also, honestly, from a medical procedure perspective, it's a real loser. So while it makes the Adam apple less prominent for the girls, the voice box is misconfigured. There's problems. There needs to be follow up on phonation. It's a big problem. The type of situation that we have here is that gender dysphoria measured before all these procedures is X. And then after all the procedures, it doesn't really change. It's not even effective. It doesn't make people happier to do this. And now there's multiple studies showing that mortality, all cause mortality after a gender change increases. So there's higher rates of homicide, suicide, and death of all causes. There's higher rates of psychiatric burden of disease. I mean, as a doctor, if I did something that actually increased mortality, I would stop. I mean, we just would not do that.
Right.
So doctors and hospitals that are and nurses and others that are participating in this, they they have to know that they're violating their Hippocratic oath. The Hippocratic oath says, above all, we will do no harm. Do no harm. They are causing harm. I recently checked the website of Duke University, famous medical institution. They have a tops clinic and a bottoms clinic. Like, this is kind of fun to do this. They're violating their Hippocratic oath. And, Ken Paxton was going after this in Texas,
Wow.
and now he's been taken out. But transgender medicine is bad medicine, and it should be shut down. Uh, it shouldn't be paid for at any level. Now, if there's a man and he's, an adult man, and he wants to look like a woman and he's willing to pay for it and do all that, fine.
You
But
gotta
we
save up for it. Pay for it
well, you gotta
yourself.
say the word. Listen to this, Chrissy. By personal communication, I know this vignette. I'll leave it anonymous, but there's a man in the U.S. Army who's becoming a woman, and so he's had breast implants and hormones and hair depilarization and voice box surgery. By personal communication, anonymous, this guy has not been on duty for like 5 months. And guess who's paying for it? You and me, the
Wow.
taxpayer. I don't know if you've seen this, but the digital ambassador for the Navy is a guy who dresses up as a cute girl. I don't know if
I
you've
saw
seen that.
that.
Yeah. So, something is going on in the minds of people right now that's distorted, and it's happened through the advancement of some of these biological agents, and now with the crisis that we've been through, and we're seeing an absolute explosion. Gen Z, and you and I are not in Gen Z, but those who are in Gen Z right now, it's 20% LGBTQ.
Wow. And it's similar to, we've all seen those women that get too much plastic surgery, or they keep going, they wanna look like a tiger or a dragon, or the guy that wants to look like a lizard, and it's like, I guess I'm thinking more specifically of the women that just get tons of plastic surgery and they still don't feel like they're beautiful enough because the problem is in their mind. That's what a lot of this trans stuff reminds me of. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right, love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.